Hey everyone, Santiago here from Liquidity. On January 19th, Cardano dumped around 15% in just 24 hours, while Bitcoin was down around 2%, Ethereum 4%, Solana 6%, XRP 10%, and even PEPE, a meme coin, was only down about 11%. The question is, how PEPE, which is a meme coin, is more stable than ADA? If that doesn't make you stop and ask some questions, I don't know what will. Today, I'm going to show you why this keeps happening, why DeFi is always hit so hard, why Cardano dumps even harder, and most importantly, how can we solve this with Liquidity? Up here, you have a quick 2 minutes intro to get you up to speed on Liquidity. So buckle up and let's get on with the video. Let me start by saying that yes, there is a macro story here. Trump is back with his bulldozer strategy, using tariffs as a weapon for negotiation. And that shakes all markets, from stock to commodities to crypto. When big macro fear spikes, liquidity dries up, risk assets sell off, and price tanks. That's normal. But all of this doesn't explain why ADA consistently bleeds harder than most majors. Why Cardano DeFi get crushed disproportionately every single time there is a shock like this. Let's be real. If PEPE, which is basically a casino chip, can look more stable than ADA on days like this, you can say that something is broken under the hood. This is where we need to stop blaming some obscure market manipulators and start looking at the mechanics. How cascade failures trigger, why Cardano's strength in decentralization actually becomes a weakness when liquidity remains invisible and uncoordinated. So, let's review what actually happened on Monday. Let's quickly frame the day. You wake up, check the charts, and BTC is down 2%, Ethereum 4%, Solana 6%, XRP 10%, PEPE 11%, ADA minus 15%. I mean, on a volatile day like this, you expect everything to be on the red. No surprise there. What you don't expect is a top 10 L1 with strong fundamentals and one of the most researched architectures in crypto to be acting like a meme coin. And this is not about Cardano is dead or its fundamentals are suddenly disappearing. This is about understanding how trading actually works in our DeFi ecosystem when volumes spike and liquidity is stressed. Every big down move exposes the same underlying problem again and again. Liquidity is fragmented, opaque, and poorly coordinated. So when a shock comes, orders hit thin liquidity in the wrong pools. Slippage explodes. Algorithms see the drop and hit more sales. So liquidations, panic selling, and bots amplify the crash. And suddenly, a 5% fair move becomes a 15% or worse nightmare. That's not just the market being the market. This is a structural inefficiency and infrastructure flaw. Now let's compare CEXes with DEXes. And this is something I won't get too much in detail now because I'm preparing another video for this topic in particular. But for now, the question is, why DeFi in particular feels the pain more? Centralized exchanges with all their flaws coordinate liquidity in one order book per pair. Everyone's bids and asks are visible in one place. Market makers see the full depth and can react quickly to changes of environment. In contrast, DeFi markets, and especially on Cardano, liquidity is spread across many pools and many DEXes. Each pool has its own depth, its own fees, its own pricing, and a lot of this liquidity is effectively invisible to most traders, 99% of traders and protocols. So then, when the market moves fast, traders swap into suboptimal pools with poor depth. A relatively small sell order can move the price way more than it should. That price gets picked up by aggregators, bots, and oracles. And then the overreaction becomes the reference price. This turns what should be a healthy repricing into a cascade of oversleepage, arbitrage, and MEV extraction. And this, by the way, is exactly the kind of environment where smart money absolutely short the DeFi market. They love to short this type of environments. They know very well when macro fear hits, liquidity inefficiencies will amplify the downside. It becomes statistically profitable to bet against the DeFi liquidity, not necessarily the fundamentals, but the liquidity. And just ask yourself, in hindsight, what was the most profitable strategy for the last 4 years, and not only on crypto, everywhere? And the answer is shorting the DeFi market. You could have made more money than buying gold or silver even these days. Meanwhile, DeFi believers, the ones who really care about decentralization and wealth distribution, and this is the sad story, are the ones left holding the bags and the losses. This is the asymmetry we need to fix right now. Now let's talk about Cardano specifically. Why is Cardano especially vulnerable to these issues? Cardano is arguably one of the most advanced academically researched blockchains out there. Strong security, reliability, high resilience, formal methods, transparency, governance. From a protocol point of view, you could say that Cardano is built like a tank. But none of that is automatically guaranteeing efficient marketing DeFi. Here's the problem. Cardano is very decentralized, and that's fantastic, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, liquidity coordination is not really catching up with this. You have many DEXs, many pools per asset pair, different fee structures, incentives, and designs, and very little is shared. No real-time visibility into which pool is healthy, which one is stressed, or which one is about to break down. So you end up with liquidity silos instead of the coordinated layer. Invisible liquidity that exists on chain, but is inefficient in supporting capital flow. Unprotected pools where the financial mechanics are invisible. And then you may say, but Santi, isn't this the whole point with DeFi? Decentralized finance? And yes, the goal is decentralization, but decentralized does not mean blind. Right now, we have amazing transparency at the transaction level. You can trace addresses, see every swap, every LP add and remove. But we have poor transparency at the liquidity health level. We can't answer basic questions. How stable is this pool? How stressed is it? Is it a crisis building up with this one? So ironically, one of the most transparent blockchains has one of the most opaque liquidity. And I say this with a lot of respect for the work behind Cardano, as it's probably the most advanced, more researched blockchain out there. I mean, I'm a fan myself. I'm here trying to find a solution for these problems. But I have to say, when it comes to market depth and liquidity coordination, it's also one of the most inefficient and vulnerable. And it's not because of the base layer, as I said, but because of the financial plumbing underneath. It's not monitored, it's not coordinated. That is the issue. And these flaws, these gaps, are the reason why shorting DeFi volatility can be the most profitable strategy for sophisticated actors. And I'm not calling them the bad guys either. They're not just betting on Cardano is bad or crypto is bad. Actually, many of them like crypto. They're simply betting on structural inefficiencies, fragmented liquidity, crises not being detected early, pools being left unprotected, traders walking blindly into high slippage, MEV traps, liquidity cliffs. They understand that in this structural setup, DeFi will overreact to the downside more often than not. Meanwhile, and this is the sad part, the people who actually believe and are invested in the fundamentals are unfortunately the ones absorbing the losses. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is this is fixable. And we don't need to wait for regulators or some magical institutional white knight to come and save us. We can build the tools that make market depth visible, the tools that detect threat and crisis early, to coordinate responses, to reward the supporters and punish bad actors and bad behavior. This is exactly why I designed Liquidity, a health layer for Cardano DeFi to monitor and classify pool degradations in real time, to expose liquidity inefficiencies and early warning signs so projects and traders can see crisis building hours in advance, not just after they blow up. So this transforms the, oh no, what just happened, into we saw this forming and we acted in time to prevent and mitigate a crisis. So what is Liquidity building? One, a free public dashboard where anyone can monitor Cardano pool health in real time. No gatekeeping, no paywall. This is for the community, this is just transparency. Two, a swap route optimizer to automatically choose the best pools for your users to protect against MEV. Liquidity will route swaps across pools to minimize slippage and extraction costs, reducing the tax that traders pay in bad routing and hidden MEV. This makes trading cheaper, fairer, more stable. And then three, Liquidity will put projects in the driver's seat. Protocols will get tools to monitor their own pools, set thresholds, and take actions when pool degrade. Instead of being passive victims of the market, they can actively defend their liquidity and their users. And the goal is not to centralize control. The goal is to centralize information so traders can make better decisions and founders manage risk more proactively. That is the objective. So the question is, what can you do about this? Right now, Project Catalyst voting for Fund 15 is temporarily on hold. It has been paused for several days due to some operational issues we don't know, but voting will resume soon, hopefully very soon. When it does, if you believe that Cardano deserves a DeFi market as strong as its technology, that DeFi should protect believers and supporters, not just reward the most extractive strategies, that we can fix these recurring dams not by FOMOing more, but with better infrastructure for more transparency and better prevention and mitigation. Then you can help make this happen. Liquidity is in Fund 15. When voting resumes, remember to search for Liquidity and cast your vote. Your vote is what gives us the mandate and the resources to monitor more than 1,400 pools across 4 dexes in Cardano by year 1, to launch the public liquidity health dashboard, to deliver our swap routing optimizer for slippage and MEV protection that doesn't exist currently in Cardano, and to build the tools to coordinate liquidity efficiently to make sure Cardano's TVL flows where and when it's needed. So what do you think? Do you agree with me that what we saw on January the 19th is not just bad luck or the matrix, but a structural problem in how DeFi liquidity is organized and coordinated, especially on Cardano? Let me know in the comments if you agree with our mission. Give this video a like and tell us your ideas so we can consider implementing some of them in our platform. And if you disagree, that's totally fine. Give us a thumbs down if you want to, but at least tell me why. Let's talk about it. I genuinely want to hear your perspective. Cardano is built like a tank. Now let's make sure its markets can hold it. And with this, I hope everyone is doing well, and I'll see you all in the next one.